Document libraries. Please take note, we are at the home location for the intranet portal, and I'm going to navigate into this documents library. Now that's the default name of the library. It could be named anything else. Now when we go in here, and it will take a second to load if it's the first time we've been here today, you will see the documents listed. Now across the top, you have two tabs for working with files, new document, upload document, and a new folder. Please take note that the folder option is deprecated. Microsoft will not have this in newer releases of this product. And we also have the library. These are global library settings. I'm going to return to the Files tab, and if I use the drop-down, please take note it is a new Word document that can be uploaded or added. I'm going to choose Upload a Document, and we browse. Now we can use a drag and drop feature, and I'm going to find a file. Please note this is a PDF, and we have not enabled the viewing of PDFs with an icon. And I'm going to select Open to that, and OK. Now, if the PDFs were restricted in this library, immediately we would get a message saying the administrator has blocked the upload. Now, this can take a while depending upon the size of the file. Now, we'll wait for just a second. And there we go. Now, what you see here is additional metadata that can be added. This is not a required field, but I am adding it. You will note this is a special column that has been added to this library, and we are going to save that. Now it will go and display itself here once it's saved. There it is. Now the PDF icon has been configured. Normally this is not the case. Now for this library, we have not got content approval turned on. We have not got versioning turned on. So to do those features, we go to the library and over here to our library settings. Now only people with the correct credentials are able to do this. Here is our versioning. So we select it, and it's going to be yes, turn on versioning. It will take a moment. I'm going to pause this recording while we, oh, no, there we are. Yes, we are going to require content approval, and we are going to do versioning. For the purpose of our exercise, we're going to do 5 major and 5 minor. Now, when we have content approval turned on, who should see the item? Any user that can read, or anyone that can edit, or only users who can approve? And do the documents need checking out before they can be edited? We're going to leave that as no. And we return to the library. Now please take note, on this initial screen we do not see those functions. And I'm going to go back to my library. The users will not see anything obvious here other than a new column has been added. Now I'm just going to open this document, and I'm going to open it as an editable copy. And it will take a moment for the application to be called. I am going to pause this recording. Now you will note that when the document opens, it has opened in a browser window. The library has been configured to open in a browser versus the application. So when we return and we use the ellipse, notice our edit option. If we go to the second ellipse, we can also edit just properties, and I'm going to choose that because the editing of the properties is editing of metadata. And I'm also going to change the ISO. Now please take note, what I'm looking at is the first version. The question always arises, is changing metadata actually creating a new version? Well, if I use the little drop down, and again, I use the drop-down and look at the version history. It will take a second to pop this next window up. I can see the two versions, so editing the metadata does indeed affect the versions. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to use the drop-down again, and notice I do have the opportunity of publishing now a major version. Commenting is always recommended. If I were to look at the version history again now, I can see there is my comment here and here. Now when we did this, we did see that a column called ISO had been added. There's the column. To add a new column, we go to our library, and there's a couple of ways of doing it. We could create a new one from here, or what we're going to do is go into Library Settings, and here are the columns. We're going to go ahead and add from existing site columns. It will take a second. Now what I'm looking for, and this is the list of the built-in ones, the author's name. And I am going to add it to the default view. So notice it does appear, but I want it to be the first item. So down below I go to Column Ordering, and I just select. All of the others will be pushed down. Author is now the first. Now, this happens quite often if I have not got the permissions, or if I have not waited long enough for that new column to be added. This is what actually will happen. But you can see it is there. Now, to get this to move, we could do the ordering, or we could modify this view. And if I select Modify the View, it is working on it. I can just go in and say that my author should be the first. And I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to say OK. Again, this is all about timing. The information has to be fed into the backend SQL database, and because the SQL database is on a completely separate server, it does take a moment to become effective. Therefore, those type of issues are normal. Now we are going to pause the record. Oh, no, we are back. So if I were to upload another document, and you can see it has been effective. If I were to upload another document or create a document, and I'm going to create a new document. Now this is going to open Word. Don't worry about this. This is a configuration within the lab. And I am just going to generate some text. And what I'm going to do, now please take note, when we save here, I can save to SharePoint, or I can save to the computer. I'm going to save to SharePoint. And which one? Now if I return, and I just click Save, it will ask me because it will not know. So it is SharePoint, and it's going to be this one. And if we wait just a second, it is going to pop up, and it has HTTP. I'm going to change the name of this, and we're going to save it. Now, upload failed. Now the reason that it failed is because the author field was a mandatory field, and we didn't fill that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the File option here, and notice our properties, and Advanced Properties, and Author, I'm also going to add a language, because quite often we do need language. and then I return, and I'm going to save a copy to the same location. I have filled in the author. Now it is possible that this will fail again because of the timing issue. And it looks like it has gone. Let's return to our library and let's do a refresh. And there's the author. Now you will notice it is draft because we did turn on content approval, and the simple document is pending because we did turn on content approval. Now to approve it, notice approve and reject items are here, but this is a different view. These are all views of this library. And notice the submission. This will show me, the user that uploaded, the status of my documents. I'm going to return to this view, and I'm going to select the radial buttons or the ellipse, and I'm going to select the ellipse again, and notice my choices here. View, edit, view, again, check it out. Now, it is showing as a draft. Now, if you remember, we did turn on who can see this draft. And I believe we said only people that actually could upload. Now, this is trying to open this document. If it's never been opened before, the viewer will fail, but it has appeared. We close this, and we go back to approve and reject our items. We can see, right, the status is draft. Now, if I were to go to the Files menu, right, I also have Unpublish, Approve, or Reject. I do have to have the item selected. This is a nice view of the document. Approve or reject. And that's the end of our recording.